My bad, y'all. I'm back. I'm on point. My bad. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody to the Maj 2 Ray Show. Welcome. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I hope your weekend was amazing. Mine was dope. I got a lot of work done, a lot of content coming, a lot of good things happening. I appreciate you all. We was trash at fundraising, and that's y'all fault. I did my part. Y'all didn't do your part. But y'all know the rules. Welcome to a new week of the Maj 2 Ray Show. When you come in, ask everybody to do a few things. Obviously, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. What's up, Bookworm? Repost. If you're watching this on X, just hit the button. Hit the repost button. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment. Let me know where you're from. What city you from? Regardless of where you're watching it from, comment and let me know what city you watching this from, because I want to make sure that solutionaries are linking up. Y'all all should also be a part of the Solutionary 9. You should be in Solutionary University. You should be getting empowered. You should be getting informed. We got so much information and value over there at Solutionary University, and I want everybody to tap in and have access to it. But again, hit the like button, repost, tell me where you're from in the comment section. Red Riot 7451 started off early. Actually, before I get to Red Riot, let me go to Big Mama T. Now, Big Mama T posted this comment at 7:29 p.m. from Rumble. Again, everybody, let me know where you're watching from. Reese is watching from the Seattle, Washington area. What up, Bobby? Now, Big Mama T jumped in and said, a half hour before the show started, said, read the executive order. It's very specific. Now, I'm going to assume, Big Mama T, that you're not on my X page. If you're on my X page, then you would see that I made a whole video about this, but we're going live about it tonight. And for those of you that don't know, Trump's anti-liberty streak continues. He's talking about jailing people for burning the American flag. And of course, we got all of the fucking fake-ass conservative pundits giving real conservatives a bad name, tap dancing, jumping right in. You got Matt Walsh. They all got the memo. They all got the email. All of the pundits are talking about, yeah. This should be against the law, yada, 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 yada. All of them got their talking points and they got the memo. But anyway, I'm going to assume, Big Mama, that you didn't see the video. You didn't see me giving a breakdown of what exactly was in the EO. And we're going to go through all of that tonight. The fact that y'all are thinking that executive orders should be how presidents and governments, our government, limited government, should run tells me that you're missing the plot already. But we're going to go through all of that tonight. If y'all can see right on the screen right there, I have the actual fucking executive order on. Bobby Baltimore says freedom is cool until it doesn't fit the moral standard. And again, I'm not a fan of, we're going to talk about it all tonight. Okay? His mama call him Twitter, so I'm going to call him Twitter. I don't call it X. Sometimes I call it X, sometimes I call it Twitter, but most of the times I call it Twitter because it's just out of habit. Saying this to say, y'all, tonight we're going to go through all of this because tonight I want to make sure that you toenail biting bitches that are pretending to be conservative and pretending to be limited government, I want to make sure that you don't have any fucking where to hide. I want to make sure that tonight the actual solutionaries that are actually about liberty, that are libertarians, independents, real limited government conservatives have the right talking points to smash your goofy ass fucking arguments for now, and they're broken down in a way that they will forever be broke. That's what tonight's show is going to be about. Because I'm really, and now, I'm going to give all of y'all the opportunity to tap in. The show is a call-in show. But you know what happens? A lot of you pussies that be on X, that be on Facebook, that be on YouTube, that be on Rumble, that be on whatever, y'all say this behind these pages, and then I say, okay, cool. Come and stand on your positions on the show where I could go back and forth with you. But you're scared of your candy asses, marshmallow motherfuckers don't even show up. And I'm not mad at that. That speaks to my superiority in the lane. That's what it speaks to. So I'm going to talk my shit tonight. Okay, so for those of y'all that's just, and again, everybody, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Make sure y'all follow me on X, Twitter, New Age, Old Age, Twitter, X, whichever way you call it. Follow me there. That's the link right there. It's in the chat, and it's on the screen. Yeah, Bobby, we calling the naysayers out real quick. We're going to get right to the drama, because these motherfuckers are cool with freedom until it offends them. Now, I know why. I know why it does that. Because to be a real person about freedom that uses the Constitution as the standard to limit government, that person has to have a higher IQ and understand nuance better. It's very easy to just go red or blue team. Anything that happens and my team says it's okay, Supreme Court agrees with me, it's okay. Supreme Court disagrees with me, it's the Supreme Court is clowns. Okay? Now I say this, I'm cited. Our work is cited in the Supreme Court. Black Guns Matter is cited in the Bruin decision. I'm gonna forever hang my hat on that. Just in case somebody jump fly one time and want to talk that shit, I can say my work is in a Supreme Court decision. In order to beat that, you got to beat that. Okay? But the Supreme Court gets shit wrong a lot. If y'all didn't know, I happen to be melanated. I happen to be black, right? A black American. The Supreme Court supported the Dred Scott decision that said no black man has any rights that white men are bound to respect. And I can call a contradiction in the bigotry and the bias that is inherent at certain times in the mentality of humans. Why? Because fucking humans are fallible. So I'm not all the way going to just be like the Supreme Court gets it right every time, nor am I going to say the Supreme Court gets it wrong every time. Supreme Court has gotten things wrong, like abortion. Okay? They said we, at a certain while, way back in the day, Roe v. Wade, we gave federal government too much power over this. This needs to go back to the states. Then everybody that doesn't understand how this goes wanted to say, oh, the Supreme Court wants to take the reproductive rights. All I'm telling y'all is tonight y'all going to get a thorough understanding, because I want you, especially you that have the balls, but I'm safe to say that most of y'all are not going to have the ball. If you disagree with me, you're not going to have the balls to, when I open up the call lines, you're not going to call it. And yes, let's be very clear what my position is. My position is to burn an American flag or any flag is protected by the First Amendment. And I don't care if you do or you don't. I'm not talking about, is it something that I would prefer? I'm saying if you choose to burn any flag, I don't give a fuck, and the government should not have a fucking thing to say to you about it at all, period. And I want one of you fake patriotic motherfuckers that I've never saw do anything for your own community to jump out here. I dare you. I'm going to make an example out of you tonight. Wild Self, watching on YouTube from South Carolina, appreciate you. Big Rob says the term reproductive rights when talking about abortion is an oxymoron, 100%. But I just want y'all to be clear. I will hold no quarter for anybody that disagrees with me tonight and jumps on the I'll give you a point for being brave. But know that I'm going to make you reevaluate the way that you view the entire world tonight. Entire world. I'm going to fuck you all the way over. You know why? Because I'm like Ron Swanson. I know more than you. That's why. Because I'm a fucking nerd. Because I read a lot. Okay? And I'm a solutionary. And I wake up early. And I work out. And I drink motherfucking water. Right? And I'm stronger than you. And I shoot better than you. So there's nothing that you can do. We're going to keep it in the battlefield of ideas. Now, we're talking about Donald Trump. First, let's play the video. Before I read the executive order, which is right here on the screen, which I read thoroughly before I made the content that I posted this morning, or this late afternoon, brunch time, whatever, right? Before I did that, I watched this video. And I want y'all to tell me if y'all can hear and all that other good stuff, but I'm going to play this real quick. And this is what Trump says. This is the executive order signing. This is on C-SPAN, okay? And first, I got to deal with the fact that an executive order is a problem. We're going to get into that tonight. Executive orders and executive actions are the executive branch's way of circumnavigating the system of checks and balances. So y'all going to learn a lot tonight. This is why we have a civics class. Okay, but let's start with this actual signing of the executive order. Let's do a little reaction. This is about 3 minutes. I'm going to chop it up, maybe 4 or 5 minutes on this. Comment in the section, hit the like button, all of that while I chop it up. Again, guys, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Tell me in the chat if y'all can hear everything properly, but let's go ahead and play this right now.
Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags.
No, they're not. First of all, I'm going to keep jumping in. They're not burning flags all over the country. That's not happening. There's people being paid at certain times with cameras around, and if that happened, it's like a Biden rally back in the day when he was running for re-election, right? It looked like it's a lot of people because the cameras do camera things, but it's not all over the place. Most people is just trying to pay for their groceries and go to work.
All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech, but
it is freedom of speech.
Another reason, which is perhaps much more important, it's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You could do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways.
At levels we've never seen before. People go crazy. Trump is a master at fucking exaggeration. Let's be very clear. At levels we've never seen before. Now imagine when the leftists were saying this about January the 6th. Imagine when the leftists were saying, oh, it's the worst. Meanwhile, there was a granny with a flag and police were giving guided tours at the Capitol in January the 6th. Oh, it was worse than slavery. Oh, exaggeration. As Bookworm just said, bro has had the same catchphrases for everything. That's what Warrior in the Garden says. Bookworm says, has somebody been killed for burning the flag or did he just make that up? It's 1,000% made up. It's to get to what his point is. This is bad and we love America. And I get that. I love our countrymen and countrywomen as well. I've committed my life to service of those countrymen, but not a flag. And this exaggeration around this flag thing is to get his talking point off. Okay?
There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity.
Now, this is going into what the executive order actually says, and this is why it's going to get tossed the fuck out. And they kind of told you right there verbally. What this does is gives the Department of Justice the ability to investigate where there are flag burnings and if there is in conjunction with any criminal activity. Right there, they just told you that the mere act of burning the flag in and of itself does not constitute criminal activity. And y'all in the solution, y'all solutionaries, y'all know that. For there to be a crime, there has to be a victim. And so, with that being the case, yes, there is no fucking victim. And this person is actually saying this right here. He's saying, we're just going to investigate if somebody does this, and then if they're doing it in the commission of a crime, then we'll get them for that, and then we'll give them an extra year on the thing. This is about to be a tremendous fucking waste of time. This is all political theater that if someone is caught up on it, it's going to be a fucking waste of time. But anyway, let's listen some more.
That where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot.
So y'all are going to hear people talking about this. How the goofball status. There's goofballs on the right and there's goofballs on the left. Y'all know that, right? You're going to hear the goofballs on the right say, well, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. First of all, they don't even know the case that comes from, and it had nothing to do with fire in a theater. It was the example used. It was the Schenck decision or Schenck court case. Anyway, that's been overturned. You can yell fire in a theater. It's a dick thing to do, like burning a flag is a dick thing to do. Especially if you do that shit around veterans who actually lost homies to that shit. You might get fucked up, and everybody understands that. It's the same as like, yo, if you happen to be a different race and you use the N-word, I'm not saying you should get fucked up. I'm saying some people don't fuck with that. If you burn a flag in front of a veteran who his homie that taught him shit that he shared saved his life, he saved his life in return, you burn a fucking flag in front of that person, they might fuck you up. I'm not saying it's okay. I think it's a dick move to make. Okay? But my point in saying this is these people on the right that are adamant, that aren't veterans, that have no real loss around that shit. When they watching football on Sundays regularly, when the national anthem come on, they don't stand up and salute. They just pretending, right? Those people that's extreme about this, they're going to say, well, it's like calling fire in a theater. You can't do that. That's not protected speech. That case was overturned. Okay? That case was overturned. So now they're going to go into this, it could be inciting a riot. This is that like conspiracy to possibly do something. This is the thought crime energy. Okay? Now, the reason why this is bullshit, there's several reasons why this is bullshit, and we're going to go through all of them tonight. Everybody hit the like button. I want everybody to hit the like button. If you're watching on X, hit the repost. All right? Some of the reasons why this is bullshit tonight is one, it's been presented, it's been challenged in court. The Supreme Court has reaffirmed that burning an American flag is protected under the First Amendment. I'm going to give you all the case law. I'm going to give you the Texas versus Johnson because they cited that in this executive order. Okay? However, it's not just Texas versus Johnson. It's other reaffirming Supreme Court cases where the same judge wrote the dominating opinion. But this is stupid and Trump knows it because of the fact that it's already been handled in the Supreme Court. Now, going back to this executive order thing, when presidents start to lean on executive orders for things, most presidents know that when these things get challenged, they're going to knock over their fucking executive order. They know it. But they try to do a thing to look like they're super patriotic and trying to, you got to have respect for America. What is the most respectful thing that you can do for America is respecting the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and limiting government. This type of executive order that I'm sure he knows, based on the wording that the guy said just now, he knows that this is going to get fucking challenged if it ever even gets fucking applied. They know that it's going to get challenged. There's a slim chance that it ever gets applied. When it gets challenged, it's going to get overturned because case law is already there. But he can say this, and then the PR machines, the DC Dranos, the Pasobieks, the Matt Walsh, meat gobblers can say how Trump is so great and he cares about America when it's all cap. And even if they do find somebody, let's say they find somebody, right? And I'm going to continue the video. But let's say they find somebody that was burning a flag in their backyard. That means you guys have to deploy federal resources to find that person, get their IP address, travel there, ask them questions, yada, 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 potentially arrest them. This person fights this case all the way up to court. You get fucking sued because the case law was already there. It's being reaffirmed in the Supreme Court several times. Then the federal government's going to have to pay federal tax dollars to that person that sued the fucking government for violating their First Amendment rights. But you know why they don't care? Because they would love to send you on this fucking dry run and a fucking wild goose chase. But meanwhile, this is the same administration that is telling you that the Epstein client list is a nothing burger. So y'all about to spend all of this energy to entertain something that's already been proven to be unconstitutional, a violation of the First Amendment. While you're telling me that if I purchased a flag with my money and anywhere that is not, in a building or, private property, that unless it's private property that I own or the person that owns is like, yeah, absolutely burn your flag. Unless that's the case, you're going to chase me down for something that has been reaffirmed in the Supreme Court several times. What the fuck does this have to do with lowering the price of everyday goods? Nothing. If somebody wants to disagree with me, I fucking dare you. I dare you. Let's play some more.
And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail. and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone.
So the Statute and Monument Act, I get what he's trying to make the connection, but the Statute and Monument Act is somebody else's property. It's actually federal property. The statutes and the monuments are federal property that somebody would deface. I'm a libertarian. I believe in defense of property. So I don't have no problem with that. You didn't make this fucking statute. But if I bought the flag, who the fuck are you to tell me? Let me tell y'all something. When I've spoken against certain things, right? My position on reparations is very nuanced, right? Some people don't hear it because even as tonight's show tonight, right? Some people are going to think that I'm arguing for flag burning. I'm not. I think it's stupid. I think it's a dumb symbol. I think it's dumb to burn a flag, especially if you paid for it, which will be the only way that I would be, okay, you get to burn it because you paid for it. But it's still stupid because you paid for it. However, my nuanced takes on things, people struggle with them. And when I was having a nuanced take about reparations, not you're white, so you owe me $8 out of your check every week, which is retarded, okay? It was a nuanced take. I don't want to go too much of a sidebar. But anyway, people got upset because I just didn't say the right-leaning talking point of reparations is absolute handouts. No, it's actually way more nuanced than that. And it's also not a you owe me because you own slaves and that white dude that you're talking about is at the same job that you're fucking at. It's nuanced. And as I started this conversation, I said, as solutionaries, our job is to be nuanced and more intelligent. Okay? My point in saying that is, when I started having more nuanced conversation about reparations, about the reparations assessment group that Johnny Cochran was putting together before he died, where he was going after corporate charters like Norfolk Southern and Wells Fargo for their corporate benefit, not random white people. When I started saying that, people got upset with me and started taking shirts that they bought, Black Guns Matter shirts, Freedom Over Everything, Media, whichever one, and it was like 2 or 3 people that burned their shirts. The shirt that I created, they paid for with their money and they burned it. And I thought to myself, A, he has the right to do this. And B, why would you burn your own fucking shirt? That's like I felt like LeBron James. I was like, damn, I've arrived. I promise you this is a real story. Bookworm said this can't be a real story. I promise you this is a real story. I got the videos somewhere. It's 2 of them. I was like, I remember when people was burning LeBron James jerseys when he went to South Beach, when he was like, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach, and he went to Miami? I promise you. I was like, I have arrived. I am the most popular, powerful. I felt like the fucking Wizard of Oz. They were burning Black Guns Matter merch because of my takes on that shit. And all I could think to myself was, 1, that's wild. And 2, they have the right to do that. They paid for it. They don't have to do what I want them to do with that shirt. So when you go into this conversation with Trump here talking about this, it's like it's a fake patriotism. Nuance and freedom is complicated. It does not exist just in the silos that we accept. The side of the team that we are on. No, freedom is freedom over everything. When I made that t-shirt, I wasn't making it just to sound cool. I remember somebody asked me, they said, so freedom of speech, right? If the Ku Klux Klan was walking down the street in North Philly, I would be like, cool. I would just ignore them. They look retarded. But they get to look retarded. You wouldn't try to shoot them or do, no, why would I? They're morons. What? And I'm telling you my perspective. Good luck. Other people don't view the world the way that I view. Everybody's ethos is different. Because my ethos is so steeped in freedom, yes, I wouldn't have a problem with the Ku Klux Klan walking down Broad and Lehigh. That's the fuck on them. Well, go ahead. Big Rob says, is it the same if only your girlfriend is burning your clothes? If your girl, it's not her fucking clothes. Why are you touching my clothes? What if I burn your weave? What if I burn your waist trainer? What if I burn your eyelashes? Put them shits that look like brooms. What if I burn your eyelashes? You know what I mean? My point in saying this is I'm a fan of property rights. If it's not yours, don't touch it. Don't violate it. Okay? Trump is being very, let me throw meat to the base, as opposed to improving the base's intelligence base. This is a low IQ move. This is a low IQ move. It's definitely a low constitutional value move. But let's play a little bit more, because maybe he'll say something that makes me wrong.
Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped.
So that, real quick, going back, the statues and monuments thing, I'm with that. Because it's not yours. It's not your statue. You didn't buy it. You didn't erect it. It's not on your property. Cool. You destroy somebody else's shit, then it is what it is.
But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important. Because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on.
Now, he's correct there. And this is where I will agree with him. People that, like I was talking earlier about veterans, right? They're not trying to see you. That symbol means something to them. I have evolved. I understand what it means when I'm at a training event or I'm at a place, or I'm at a basketball game or whatever, right? When a national anthem plays, and I know Francis Keys, that third verse was a little wild. I'm gonna agree with that. But when in Rome, do as the Romans. So when I'm at a spot, I'm not mad at symbolic gestures. They don't take precedent to me over substantial measures, substance. But when I'm at a game or something, I will stand up, take my hat off, put my hand over the heart. I'm a Usain Bolt it. I'm a stand for the anthem. I'm gonna do that. Okay? So he's right in the sense that most Americans are tired of seeing those flags. But again, this is even being over exaggerated. That's like when people be like, oh, there's so many white supremacists. There's so many Ku Klux Klan members. So many like Nazis. It's like 8 of them motherfuckers. Like, it's not, the crime is every part of Chicago. They say this a lot. The bigots that follow like Matt Walsh, and these dudes cultivate that. They throwing that meat to their goofy ass base. The bigot pundits that I've named earlier, right? In their comment sections, they'll be like, oh, but the crime is just the blacks in general. And I'm like, yo, most humans, most Americans, there's bad people in every so-called group, racial group. It's not the vast majority of the motherfuckers. Like, stop it. And then they'll go, well, per capita. And I'll go, okay, if that's the case, then white males make up more convicted pedophiles than anybody else. So should I not let my white homies be around my daughters because most white convicted pedophiles happen to be white? No, that's fucking stupid. My point is, these people will try to make the minority of a thing and blow it out of proportion to get their argument off. This is what's happening right now. There is not a massive amount of flag burning. Let me say this to y'all. And I want y'all to I'm going to ask y'all this, and I want y'all to tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat, for real. Okay? How many of you in your entire life, there's a few hundred of y'all in the chat, right? How many of you in your entire life have seen one person burn a flag? I want y'all to really, really tell me. Where were you at when you saw, and if the answer is no, if you never saw nobody burn a flag in real life, remember when COVID happened and it was like everybody's dying of COVID? Oh, there's so many dead bodies in the hospitals. And you didn't know nobody that had COVID? It's just what television said? And it happened, right? Like there were people that really got impacted. But like outside of a television screen, in real life, have you ever seen somebody burn a flag? Or has most of your experience with flags been people showing them respect? We got to take this shit out of what TV's telling you. My t-shirts ain't just slick shit to say. Media is the most effective devil in America. They will have you thinking that as soon as you go outside, it's fucking helter-skelter. The black people and the white people is like this. It's not real. Is it goofballs? Yes. And when you put a camera on a goofball and put it all across the media and like run that story for 2 weeks straight, like there's people that still believe in sundown towns where like like the blacks gotta be out of that town before the sun goes down. It's gotta be, you better be out of here before the sun. Like, television is telling motherfuckers, like, the Nazis is gonna come the fuck out. And most of the times, they say this, these are in towns that are red states that are pro-gun. A lot of them are constitutional carry. So what the fuck you mean a sundown town? But people believe this shit. I promise you, I've heard, nobody in the chat has said, right, let the media tell it, the race war has already started. Bobby doesn't know. He happens to be white. Bobby, who's been at fucking with BGM since forever, right? Bobby didn't get the memo and an 850 credit score and $1 million white supremacy card to not fuck with Maj. Maj forgot the memo that I'm supposed to be definitely at odds with Bobby because he's white. Bobby didn't get the fucking email. Bobby, tell me you got the $2 million per month. Because you missing out on the white supremacy shit. You missing out. Tell me you get at least getting the $2 million a month. Like, that's how they package it. And so I'm telling y'all, like, somebody tell me in the chat if you in your real life, and not even at like, include this. Tell me if you were at like a fucking, I don't know, like a protest and you saw somebody burn a flag. See, government will try to do things to get their moves off. They'll scare you into compliance and say, we got to answer. We got an executive order. My pants was too baggy in the 90s. Right. Like, I'm just telling y'all, they'll play this game like this. So you'll be like, now you've seen this on television. You saw them telling you during COVID, it's dead bodies everywhere. They didn't let you in the hospital. They told you that the fucking nursing staff and the medical staff was overrun. First they told you don't do too many masks because the professionals need them. Then they said you'll be fine. Then they said you need to double and triple mask because it's fine now. Okay? They lie. Okay? You drive past the hospital and you don't see this crazy amount of dead bodies. Remember they tried to say, like, oh, they just keeping the dead bodies in freezers and shit. Then 2 months later, you see all of them doctors and nurses doing fucking TikTok dances and shit. Because you forgot. And you didn't hold them to what they fucking said. And this is what we seeing right now with the Trump administration. Trump campaigned like a libertarian, and he's turning into some goofy shit, and I think he's fucking compromised at this point. I voted for Trump this go round. Because I thought on his third one, I thought he was going to be like, y'all motherfuckers cheated on me on that second one. I get to literally jump out there and be like, yeah, fuck the Democrats. He put together that team that I was like, bet. In the first 2 weeks to maybe a month of his presidency, I was like, woo, he coming in hot. This is great. And he's turning into something completely the fuck else. Like saying, they're burning flags all across the country. Now, here's the more sinister shit, and I'm not saying that this is Trump being sinister. When they keep ruling by decree, that's what executive orders are. That is a way to get past the system of checks and balances. Built into our Constitution and our framework is a system of checks and balances because no one of the three major branches of government can rule unilaterally. The legislative branch got to come up with the laws. The judicial branch got to assess the laws and their constitutionality. And the executive branch is there to command the armed forces, defend the nation from external threats. So this is already out of the purvey of what the executive branch is supposed to do. But I get it. It could be packaged like, I'm trying to make sure that this is fucking patriotic and we want to have respect for America. But you're doing something that circumnavigates the very thing that makes the American system so powerful because it limits government. You're trying to overreach as the federal government while saying, I'm going to respect the thing that makes America great. And it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction. Then, Bookworms has brought up a great point. So, wait, let's play a little bit more, then we're going to go into Bookworms' point. Now, guys, everybody hit the like button. Guys, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Support the work. We do the show to give you talking points. But the real work is defending that Second Amendment, getting people involved in civics. Every donor over $100, you're going to get access to Solutionary University. That's all of the information. All of this very transformational information. All of this knowledge. The reason why I'm able to break... Y'all know that I'm a high school dropout, right? I left school in the 10th fucking grade. The reason why I'm able to give y'all all of this information is because I've got years and years and years of BGM and then years and years and years of study and shit that we condensed into shooting, understanding imminent threat, and all of this stuff that we packaged in a very simple way that you can literally watch videos, get the curriculum right to you, easily get the information to get empowered. Every donor at the $100 level, you get access to Solutionary University. I want you to transform your life. The reason why I'm able to talk this shit, and I know that I'm right, is because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I studied, and I want you guys to get that condensed. I don't want y'all to have to spend the same time that I did. Get all of the good stuff without the time. Donate at the $100 level to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I'm going to have your email. You're going to get access to the stuff. Let's go back to what Trump's saying a little bit more, then we're going to move on.
And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this.
That's true. That's 100% true. The Antifa shit, the couple years back, the BLM shit, that's true.
I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy our nation. That's not working because I think our nation now is the most respected nation anywhere in the world.
That's fucking cap. That's fucking cap. Our nation, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, is the recognition that we need to step away from this floundering ass fiat currency known as the United States dollar. I think most nations respect our connections and the fact that we're fucking Xerxes in the empire and we excel at violence. I think that's it. But I don't think that they're like, yeah, we just really, really love America because America's the beacon and the shining light and the example of freedom and liberty. No, I don't think that.
You saw that with the European leaders on Friday. You saw that with NATO, where they agreed to go from 2% no pay to 5% fully paid up, trillions of dollars paid, where they respect your president to a level that they jokingly call me the president of Europe. They call me the president of Europe, which is an honor. I like Europe, and I like those people.
See, this is how Trump gets, like, it's a thin line between being entertaining and being able to be led by your ego. Behind him is a bunch of sycophants. And I get it. They got the gig. They got to do the job. No doubt. But I want y'all to be very, very clear. This shit is like sycophancy. And it's not, and maybe there's criticisms and critiques in the back office, off of camera. I'm not mad at that. But Trump leads with his ego. Yeah, they call me the president of Europe. I don't give a fuck about you think what they call you the president of Europe. You're not the fucking president of Europe. We don't live in Europe. We live in America where we have a fucking constitution.
They're good people. They're great leaders. And we've never had a case where 7 plus really 28, essentially 38 countries were represented here the other day. 38 European countries were represented. European and other countries were represented. And it was a great meeting. But your country is respected again. I say it all the time. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Everybody said it. We had a dead country. We were not going to survive. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So it's an honor to be involved. And this group has a lot to do with it right behind.
Guys, this is all fluff and fucking talk and political bluster. That he's just saying everything that his base that is very, and I want to be very clear. Before I make this statement, y'all. This is not Trump derangement syndrome, and this is also not Trump dick riding syndrome. This is why the founders of America said don't do party systems like that, because people will be arguing about for their side more so than what's good for the right of the people. Sometimes people on the left get shit right. Sometimes people on the right get shit right. Sometimes they get shit wrong. So this isn't an argument about like dissing Trump. This is an argument about this is unconstitutional, and it's been affirmed a bunch of times already, and this is about to be a waste of time. And it's starting to look like he's just doing this shit by decree. And let me go back to this executive order thing, and then we'll move on to the conversation around, like, because we seeing a lot of the fucking, what's his name? The flannel boys, flaggots, like Matt Walsh, you fucking faggot, right? They're all, oh, this should be illegal because burning the pride flag and the LGBTQ flag is illegal, right? And they're leaving so much context out on purpose. So we're going to get to that next. But I want to be very clear with y'all. We have to tie this always back into civics and what's going wrong. You tap into the Maj 2 ratio for me to give you a sharper perspective and for me to curate some of your talking points that you can think about, challenge them, pressure test them, and then when they get super polished, jewelry, diamond, take them outside, and anybody that want to challenge you can cut their head off with the diamond. Executive orders and executive actions, which are two separate things, but when I keep mentioning that they are circumnavigating the system of checks and balances, the problem with that is both parties, Democrat, Republican, they keep doing executive orders, and then when the other party gets in office after another term or a second term, whatever, it's a Democrat, whatever again, right? Republican, whatever. The first few months of that president's term is him just signing, turning over what the president did by executive order, because executive orders have not been made law and went through the entire system of checks and balances, which means they have not passed constitutional muster. They haven't. So if they haven't, when a new president gets in, he just goes, I'm getting rid of that, I'm getting rid of that, I'm getting rid of that. So instead of immediately hitting the ground running, because the president prior to him was at least maintaining a constitutional standard, the first few months got to be undoing what the president did in the first. So that doesn't mean strengthening the economy. That does not mean securing the border. That does not mean strengthening the armed forces. That does not mean creating great trade and good deals with nations. That does not mean hitting the ground running, getting us out of alliances, treaties, and organizations that we should not be a fucking part of. That means damn near the first quarter or two of a presidency is trying to just, oh, he did that, then fuck that, I'm doing this. When Trump was in the first time, oh, Obama did what? I'm getting rid of that. Then when Biden gets in, he go, oh, Trump did what? I'm getting rid of that. So the executive orders, not only are they definitely going to get challenged and knocked the fuck over because they were never based in constitutionality, it's ruling by decree, it's something that should happen very sparingly. Executive orders and actions are for emergencies. But when you start having a population of Americans that don't understand basic civics, newsflash, we want you to be a donor at the $100 level so you can get access to the civics class too. Okay? We have a civics class. When you have a general public that does not understand civics, that does not understand why an executive order is supposed to be very, very rare, and then you got a gang of sycophants as my team versus that team, anything that person does is okay because it's my guy. If Kamala Harris would have won and said, I'm doing an executive order to make burning the gay flag, the LGBT whatever letters flag, y'all would have been like, no, that's unconstitutional. That's what you would have did. And in a weird way, it's starting to look to me, when I knew Trump was going to win by a landslide, was when Big Money got behind him. When Big Money got behind him and Peter Thiel and all of them, Peter Thiel has fucking groomed J.D. Vance, meaning he's politically been in his pocket and financed him for a very long time. So when I saw that, I went, okay, the big money's behind Trump. Maybe it's because Biden and them teams are so bad on the economy. Okay? But that's not what it is. It starts to look a little bit more sinister. And I thought Trump was going to get in there and be like, fuck it, I only got one term left. If they fucking kill me, they kill me. Fuck that, I'm going to make... He's literally destroying his fucking legacy right now. So when I'm explaining these things to y'all is because I want y'all to be sharp and nuanced. Those executive orders get tossed around back and forth. It takes away from time. And again, even if this type of executive order gets enacted or challenged, or like they arrest somebody, it's going to get challenged, it's going to get overturned, it's going to cost tax dollars because it's unconstitutional. And y'all going to say, I know some of y'all going to say, well, Maj, how is it fucking unconstitutional? I'm glad you fucking asked. But first, let's read the actual executive order. I'm going to skip past some of this stupid shit in section 1. Y'all go read it. Or after the show tonight, if you don't read that part, I'm going to send it to you. Shoot me a DM. Or join the Solutionary and I'll make sure I get to you. Right? Let's start here. The American flag, I'm going to show y'all where I'm starting at. Right here. I'm going to skip this first part. The American flag is a special symbol in our national life that should unite and represent all Americans of every background and walk of life. Desecrating it is uniquely offensive and provocative. And it is. It's a statement of contempt, hostility, and violence against our nation. The clearest possible expression of opposition to the political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security. Stop. That's not true. Let me read that sentence again. It says, it is the clearest possible expression of opposition to the political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security. That's not true. What is the biggest expression of opposition to that political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security is violation of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You know, like saying, I'm going to send federal troops, standing armies, to Chicago next to fight crime when they already have a local police department. That's an overreach. That is a big expression in opposition to the political union that preserves our rights. Not burning a flag. But let's read on. Burning this representation of America may incite violence and riot. May, but it may not. American flag burning is also used by groups of foreign nationals as a calculated act to intimidate and threaten violence against Americans because of their nationality and place of birth. Stop. Pause right there. This theory that they hate our freedoms just because they hate our freedoms, suck a dick. That's not true. Maybe those terrorists are showing up and they dislike the fact that the United States government has bombed the fucking children and women and hospitals in their nation. Tell me where I'm fucking wrong. Maybe the United States government in league with the Israeli government that's bombing and murdering tens of twenties of hundreds, damn near hundreds of thousands of humans in Palestine. Maybe those people are not okay with that. And that's why they don't like the American government. And maybe the United States government knows that, but they package it as if, oh, they just hate our freedom. See, when you talk about freedom and you're talking about history and when you're intelligent, it has to be nuanced. Motherfuckers ain't just wake up one day and want to be here all of the time and then was like, no, we just hate your freedoms. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, we just hate freedom, even as we try to immigrate here. Shut the fuck up. They think you're stupid. But let's read on. Notwithstanding the Supreme, this is where they tell you that what they about to attempt is bullshit. Because they know that most of you aren't nuanced and well-versed enough or won't even read the fucking fine print. This is what, and the dude said it in the video that handed Trump the executive order. But here it is. Notwithstanding the Supreme Court's rulings on First Amendment protections, the court has never held that the American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action. That's a bunch of fluff. Even though the Supreme Court said that this is a constitutionally protected act and in a statement of protest, even though they said that, they didn't say that if it has the possibility to incite a riot, that it's still protected. They playing fucking word games and playing right in front of your face. But they know that most people won't read the executive order. Like the first comment tonight. The first comment from Mama T said the executive order is very clear. As if I didn't already read the fucking executive order before I decided to jump out there on the internet. And I did. And I generally do. Okay? So they trying to do this word salad shit to try to justify it. So the false patriots that don't understand this shit go, yeah, if you're against him, you're Posobiec said this stupid shit. Imagine simping for flag burners. You fucking meat gobbler. You are so stupid or mind you, y'all know that Posobiec is a fucking fed. He was intelligence. Okay? But nonetheless, they know that you're not going to read the shit, so they play around. Okay? So let's read that again. Notwithstanding the Supreme Court's rulings on First Amendment protections, the court has never held that the American flag desecration conducted in a manner, fluff, that is likely to incite imminent lawless action or that an action amounting to fighting words is constitutionally protected. See Texas v. Johnson. And I'm going to go over one more thing for y'all in a second. I'm going to read Texas v. Johnson, and they leaving out that Texas v. Johnson was supported by another Supreme Court decision. But I'm going to go into that too. My administration will act to restore respect and sanctity to the American flag and prosecute those, listen to this part, who incite violence or otherwise violate our laws while desecrating this symbol of our country to the fullest extent permissible under any available authority. That little highlighted part right there, that highlighted part, let me take it off. That highlighted part down here, that's the part that they know most people won't read, and it somewhat gives them a leg to stand on. But it's stupid because let me tell you what it says. Let me read it again. Act to restore the respect and sanctity to the American flag and prosecute those who incite violence or otherwise violate our laws while desecrating this symbol of our country. Motherfucker would have to be robbing a bank while burning a flag at the same time. Violate our laws, which tells you again, like the dude in the video I first played said, the act of doing it in and of itself is not illegal or unlawful. But if you violate the laws, smacking somebody with a gun, assault with a deadly weapon, while burning the flag, we're going to give you a year. This is fucking fluff that has nothing to do with anything. Just put the fucking Epstein fries in the bag, bro. But no, that is a hoax. You should be more outraged about the culture war as opposed to pedophiles, as opposed to massive money printing and spending. Things that have an economic impact on your actual life. No, you're supposed to listen to Posobiec and Matt Walsh and these flaggots as opposed to paying attention to things that actually matter. A waste of time. On chess is called a useless move. In chess, that's what it's called. A wasted move. And if they pretend like, yeah, we got one of these flag burners, and that flag burner goes to court, it's going to get overturned, but they're not going to talk about that. Same thing as when they diss somebody in the media. When they got to retract the statement, they're not as loud with the retraction and the apology or the lawsuit as they are with the initial disrespect. But they went with Johnson. His name was Gregory Johnson. Texas versus Johnson. They went with that. But let's tell you about Texas versus Johnson. Let me read this for y'all. In this landmark case, the U.S. Supreme Court held that burning the American flag as a form of political protest is protected speech under the First Amendment. That's why this administration put that in there. It said, notwithstanding the First Amendment. Gregory Lee Johnson was convicted under a Texas law prohibiting flag desecration after he burned a flag during a protest in the 1984 Republican National Convention. The court, in a 5-4 decision, Trump referenced that in the video. The court, in a 5-4 decision, ruled that the government cannot prohibit expressive conduct like flag burning if it is intended to convey a particularized message and is likely to be understood as such, unless there is a compelling state interest. The Texas law was deemed unconstitutional as it infringed on Johnson's free speech rights. Justice William Brennan wrote the majority opinion emphasizing that the government may not suppress expression simply because it finds it offensive. That is a nuanced Supreme Court Motherfucker that read a whole bunch of law, case law studies, natural law, common law, da-da-da-da. I've been a lawyer. I've been a judge. Now I have the rest of my life to think about law because I'm fucking on the Supreme Court, yada, 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 yada. That takes a different mind. That mind is not a goofball like fucking Posobiec or a goofball like Matt Walsh. And I know some of y'all like them. They're fucking morons. They are low-hanging fruit, basic bitch, pretending as conservative pundits. That's what they are. I doubt that they've ever read the fucking Constitution. Me personally. Just because people got a beard and a fucking flannel, that don't mean that they a hardcore man. They could be a fucking barista. That is the liberal outfit in Portland. Everybody in fucking Portland got that outfit on. But this is what they didn't tell you. Okay? Let me tell y'all this. Listen to what Red Riot said. Scalia signed on to one of those SCOTUS decisions in 89 or 90. Okay? But they told you about Texas versus Johnson as saying, notwithstanding, in that case, they didn't say yada, yada, yada. What they didn't tell you or talk about was this motherfucking case. United States versus Eichmann. The case followed Texas versus Johnson and addressed the constitutionality, meaning this shit is still constitutional, of the Federal Flag Protection Act of 1989, passed in response to the Johnson decision. The act criminalized a flag desecration, attempting to create a content-neutral prohibition. Sean Eichmann and others were prosecuted for burning flags in protest. And who's doing it? Protesters. In the middle of a symbolic gesture to say, we don't like what American government is doing in Israel and backing in Palestine, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Protest. Not when nobody in here was just walking outside one day and on your way to your job and the motherfucker's like, you know what? Let me roll up a flag and burn it. But let's read some more. Sean Eichmann and others were protested for burning flags in protest. The Supreme Court, in another 5-4 decision, struck down the act as unconstitutional, reaffirming Texas versus Johnson. The court held that the government's interest in preserving the flag as a symbol did not justify restricting expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment. Justice Brennan, the same judge, wrote the majority opinion again, emphasizing the act targeted communicative impact, violating free speech principles. Both cases solidified the principle that flag burning, as a form of political expression, is protected under the First Amendment, despite public or governmental disapproval. See, the problem is I be talking to dumb motherfuckers with a big following. And what I mean by that is the Posobiec's, the Matt Walshes, them type of, the Lord, you know what I mean? They don't read. They not smart. And I want y'all to be very clear. I want y'all to stop following these people as you start to get more intelligent. When a man stops becoming a child, he puts away childish things. These motherfuckers is childish when it comes to this limited government shit. They are meat gobblers for their person or their team, every so often trying to appear to be objective. Objectivity means there's a lot of times where people that are just in those silos, you're going to piss both of those sides of those people off because you have a nuanced, balanced take. There are certain things that the left gets correct. There are certain things that the right gets correct. And both of sides get shit wrong. When you're a nuanced solutionary based on information and history and knowledge and a community of people that are sharpening, it'd be people in a solutionary group that's like, no, try this. Yo, look out for that. Sharpening each other. Then you're not so trapped by, oh, I just got to say what the Republicans told me to say, what the Democrats told me to say. You become a fucking fully well-developed, free-thinking individual that isn't caught by, yo, sometimes I be wrong. You get to be wrong sometimes. And then you just say, oh, no, I was wrong on that. Such and such brought that to my point, to my argument in the da-da-da-da-da-da. But these people that y'all are following are including Trump at times. And at this point, I don't know if Trump's doing it on purpose, if he trolling, if he, either way, it seems like it's a waste of time. I can't give him the like 4D chess conversation no more. I just can't. I think he makes unconstitutional moves that get challenged, like the bump stock ban, that gets challenged, And it was a complete waste of time. You just wasted all of these tax dollars on fighting to get bump stocks banned for legal analysts and everywhere to go, no, to fight it up to the Supreme Court, to get it seen, just to go, yeah, this is unconstitutional. That's because the general public, including public servants, including many in the executive branch, don't make the Constitution the standard. You cannot do that, solutionaries. We will not allow you to do that. You have to be more on point. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Let's throw it up on the chat. I want to land the plane here, guys, because I noticed nobody wanted to jump up and get their ass whipped. That's smart of y'all. If you disagree with me and you're just watching quietly, that's smart. Pick a better fight. This is not the fight to fight me with. I'm way too well versed in this shit, right? So it's smart. I'm glad that you didn't, because I love y'all. I don't really want to fuck none of y'all up. And some of y'all that jumped in there, if you still my brother, I still get to whip your ass. And we still get to go to lunch later. But I don't want to, I'm glad I didn't have to whip none of y'all ass verbally on the show tonight. That's great, okay? But what I do want to share with you all is this. They get over with this type of shit because the people that you're supposed to be looking to, or you started to follow, thinking that they would give you all of the a solid amount of information for you to make a better talking point, to take a better stand, to take a better position from, the people that they highlight and thrust to the forefront, Elon Musk does it a lot. Elon is always reposting a black dude that has horrible takes that are way without nuance, right? Elon does that all the time. Elon like to highlight black dudes that's just safe, that's not going to challenge certain arguments. That's just what it is, right? It's the same thing with the platforms. The Republicans only promote people that are just going to be in lockstep with whoever's in charge at the moment. They don't want nuance. The problem with the lack of nuance is it does not make us as a nation more civically minded and empowering. The more power we give government because of our ignorance, the bigger the government, the smaller the individual. A republic, the smallest republic is the individual. That's what makes you a Republican in a republic. Okay? So the bigger the government, the smaller the individual, the smaller the republic. And so what happens is, if you are being fed a steady diet through these new platforms of media, because make no mistake about it, social media is still a form of media. They're going to thrust Twitter leans right of center. They're going to highlight voices that are going to repeat those talking points. They're going to hide Sonny Johnson. They're going to hide Rhonda Mary. They're going to hide Maj Touré. They're going to hide Adrian Norman. A lot of the people that I put on the stage at CPAC, that one dope-ass panel, they're going to hide them people. Angela Stanton King, King Randall. They're not going to highlight those people, generally and consistently, because you are a challenge to their power. They want you to think that they are in alignment with you being powerful and empowered, but they don't even tell you a quarter of the story. That White House just told y'all, it's right there. It's in blue. That White House just told you half the story. Then said, oh, we know that the First Amendment protects this, but if they doing this while they committing the crime, then well, motherfucker, you should investigate them for the fucking crime. But I get the base riled up. You're not like in depth enough. You're too dense, so you're missing so much information, and it seems like common sense. Yes, the American flag is a symbol of what America is supposed to be, no doubt. It would seem like common sense that no one would want to burn that flag. And it would naturally seem like the natural step in that conversation would be, if somebody is violating that, then that person is a bad person. It would seem like common sense. The right is going to use the common sense argument the same way that the left uses the common sense argument as it relates to restricting your right to keep and bear arms. Common sense gun laws. They're both sides doing the same things and tactics for different topics. But both of those sides on those individual topics make the government larger. But again, the larger the government, the smaller the individual. This is why when those statements of left wing, right wing, same bird, this is the reason why those conversations start to percolate. Because this is what happens. And I want to empower you. There is nobody, you can name whoever, none of your favorite fake ass conservatives with a whole bunch of following could hold a candle to the information that we give you guys in Solutionary University. It's easy. It's videos. It's curriculums. You take them at your own leisure. You got a community of people to pressure test it against. We help you get in shape. I want you guys to transform your life. I cannot fully describe how seriously I will damage anybody that would oppose me on this stuff because I know what I'm talking about. That is a very, very empowering feeling and fact. And I want y'all to have the same feeling. This is why I want you guys to support the work. And I want you guys to do 3 things tonight. 1, obviously support the work. The link is right there. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you're watching this on X, it's my pinned post. Support the work. Give what you can. Give what you can. That's Second Amendment work. That's our Second Amendment conflict resolution and saving lives. That's our primary in-person classes. Those are free because of your support. Everybody that donates over $100, I'm going to send you lifetime access to Solutionary University. You get all of the stuff that I just named. Easy, simple, fun. I want you to get that. Okay? The other thing that I want you all to do is repost the show. Just repost it. Hey, y'all, quote post it if you're watching on X. Hey, y'all, just watch this dope show. The show comes on Monday through Friday. Just do a quote post. Spread the signal. Boost the signals. Very important. And lastly, if you don't want to donate, because you ain't into donating, fuck them kids in Philly and whatever, right? If you don't want to donate, thank you, A1 to help for reposting. If you don't want to donate, buy some merch. Buy just something. Buy a merch. Just get a class. Get a membership to Solutionary University. I just want you all to be empowered. I want you all, if you do feel like donating at the further level, just pitch in. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. You don't have to give $100. Give 20, give 10, give 50, whatever. We can't talk about the system if we're not doing 2 things. You can, but it's bitch made. 1, supporting those people doing the work and empowering ourselves to be better so we are aware and not being exposed to this bullshit and just falling victim to it. Those are the 2 things that you have to do before you fucking complain. Help those helping others and help yourself. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I'm going to engage with you all. Shoot me a DM if you need any other links and stuff like that. I'm going to be on X, Instagram, and Facebook over the next half hour or so. Thank you all for tapping in for tonight. Same time tomorrow, youtube.com/Maj Toure. I think I'm going to talk about Cracker Barrel now that some of the fucking hype has died down. I don't know. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Maj Toure. Share the space all over the place. I appreciate you all. I see you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Be safe. Be solution.